Let me start recording. I think some other note taker would be also start recording. Mm, okay, we'll start. Okay, so before moving into today's session, let me just give our recap of what actually we learned on yesterday. So for yesterday, we started to learning on this Snowflake architecture. In this Snowflake architecture, if you know, then we'll understand how everything is going flow in further future classes. So that's what actually we started now itself only for this Snowflake architecture. It's a base. Okay. So on yesterday, we just studied on these two layers only for the storage layer and then compute layer. So this is what actually our diagram, storage layer and compute layer. On storage layer, we learned how data is storing. It's a compressed way and it is optimized format. And for optimizing, it is actually using for the columnar storage. So these things actually we learned, and we started learning for the query processing layer to using the virtual warehouse. So how, what are all the virtual warehouses sizes, and what is the scaling functionality? How is scaling up, scaling down, and scale out, scale up. So, and then clusters and multi-clusters. So these are all the things actually we were studied on yesterday. So for in query processing layer using the virtual warehouse. So in today's session, we are going to learn about what is a cloud service layer. So this is not a big topic. Oops, there is a power cut. Give me a minute. Oh, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yes, Nisa.
Yeah, okay, here it is power cut. Let me reshare my screen again. Okay, so today we are going to learn about this cloud service layer. So for this cloud service layer, actually, it is not having any physical things, like which means it is not going to store any data. In this cloud service layer, we are not going to store any data, as well as we are not going to process the any query things as well. So storing the data, we have separate layer. Processing the query, we have the separate layer. For cloud service layer is a backbone. Actually, what are all the background activities? Everything it is taken care by this cloud service layer only. So, what is actually the background activity? So, like we can consider it's a brain of the body. So, body actually in our hand can do all the works, and our legs can walk everywhere. But for all this activity to activating, we need a brain. So, like that in Snowflake, everything it is taken care by this cloud service layer. It is a brain of Snowflake. Okay. Okay, so now actually let's consider in our storage layer as a fridge. Like I'm just saying one of the example. So this storage layer as a fridge, all the content, like all the ingredients, we just put inside the fridge only. And then query processing layer considering as a cooking, like a chef. So that guy will come and take the ingredients and start cooking on here. And then who's the cloud services? Cloud services is a manager. So manager means nothing. He's just taking care of all the higher level activity. So organizing everything, who enter the hotels and who ordered the foods and where it's going, building activities, securities. So those things actually taken care by this cloud service layer. So actual process is done by in query processing, and then storing is done by this database storage layer. So this is how actually these three layers are working. Let me tell you give some simple things for this. All what are all the options actually it is doing. Then we'll directly start moving into actual installing the Snowflake, and we'll start directly working on it. So what is this infrastructure manager in cloud service layer? So infrastructure manager means nothing. It is managing the infrastructure of the Snowflake. So we have the structure and in Snowflake that managing the infrastructure of this service. So in here we are not going to handle anything in our own. Here the cloud service layer means it is everything handled by Snowflake itself only. So we don't have any manual activity in here. We are just want to know what are the things actually it is taking care. So the first thing is infrastructure manager means it is managing the infrastructure of the Snowflake, and then it has the optimizer. So in this optimizer, when we are writing the Snowflake query, Snowflake itself understanding that query and start optimizing in here. So other databases we have to optimizing it in our own. Even Snowflake also we have to do some performance tuning, but optimizing the query, Snowflake itself done. So we have separate query profile editor. That editor will start optimizing whatever we are written the query. So that is what actually Snowflake this optimizer. And then metadata manager. So metadata manager means something which is a data about data, which means whatever the information we have, like the tables or schema or database, whatever we just used in inside, all the information it is there in this cloud service layer itself only. Like we have employees table, we have departments table, actual employees and the departments table data stored on here. So in this cloud service layer will shows we have employees table, like a table name, and what are all the columns actually in this employees table, and when actually this employees table is created. So like that, metadata manager is a maintaining, which means data about data. Actual data we have in here, and the data about data it's storing on here actually. And then coming into the security, so we have so many securities we can do in here: row level security and access column level security. Everything we have it in here. And then authentication and access control. So basically we are just controlling the access. So we can create the roles, like who will be going to authenticate and who will be going to accessing the Snowflake. So everything it is just maintaining. And then in cloud service layer, we have other features as well, like time travel and failover and snow pipe and catch. Like that, there are so many features. So we will going to learn those features in day by day in future classes. Okay, so these are all the things actually only for the in cloud service layer. So we almost completed for all the layers. So this is what actually the what our Snowflake architecture. So in here you see that there is a one of the link. So Snowflake documentation link. So if you can directly click on this link, it will come, or else you can just type here Snowflake documentation. So this is actually guide of the Snowflake. So whatever the things if you want to know, everything they are documenting in here. So all the topic wise, you see like how to connecting the Snowflake, working with virtual warehouses, database, load the data. So most of the important topics actually they covered in this Snowflake documentation sheet. You can just use when if you are start learning. So this actually it is very useful to you as well. Okay, so now we almost completed the Snowflake architecture things. Okay, now we will try to start creating the account in Snowflake. Let me put a charger first in my laptop. Now the current is back. Yeah, okay. So guys, can you please confirm me? Are you able to understand this Snowflake architecture? If you're clear means I can move to the next part of installing the Snowflake account. So guys, can you please confirm? Are you able to clear these things?
Yes, President.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, how can we have to create account on Snowflake? So see, like in Snowflake, if you are going to create an account means you don't want to install any software like Oracle. So you don't want to install the setup file and installing directly in our system. We no need to check how the system configuration and Oracle configuration is matching. Nothing is required. So it is very easy, like just creating a account in Snowflake environment, then you can directly access it. So let me show you. First, you just put your Snowflake free trial account. See, like we have 30 days of trial account of Snowflake. Once after this trial account is end, so we have to create another trial account. Like that, actually, we can create so many trial accounts. And also we have something they provided us 400 credits. So credits means nothing. Whatever the query we are written, so each query will take some credits. So, but for 400 credits is more than enough. We can just complete our session. But anyway, 1 month of time period, so like we have to create one another account as well. Okay, so first you can go to this first link. So let me show you the again. You can go to this first link under the Snowflake. So sign up for today, trial today. See here, start your 30 days of trial back. So you can just start give your information. So you see, this is a 400 credits worth. Now I'm just to give my information. So you can just give first name, last name, and give the any email ID. So for this email ID only, they will send an activation link. So you have to give actual email ID. Don't want to give any work email ID. Something just Gmail is fine. Then you can click continue, and then company names. Just to put something. No need to worry about actual things. Okay. So the next page, company name and job title, you can give randomly. No need to give the actual names. And then this is a Snowflake edition. So, this is the most important thing. So, in Snowflake, actually, we have four editions. In here, they have provided for the trial for three editions only. So, we have four editions of the Snowflake. So, let me tell you what are the editions. Snowflake editions. So here you see this is actually first edition is a standard and second one is a enterprise and third one is a business critical and the fourth one is a virtual private network. So these are all the four editions. Okay, so first is a standard edition. So standard edition means like first what are actually the editions? Editions means it's a basically layers like it's a kind of how much we have to pay we'll get that much of benefits. So if it is a like let's say the Hotstar. So Hotstar applications has a different type of recharge we can do. So like if you want to see Tamil movies, we can pay just standard amount, and if you want to see English movies as well, so we want to get the premium amount like that in Snowflake. So if you are standard and enterprise and business critical will change the amount level. So and also we have some advanced activities we can do in our these another editions as well. See, what is a standard edition? So standard edition is here. It's a kind of cheapest edition. So this is not much payment. So if anyone start doing for the small business or startup, if they are actually going to use a Snowflake means they are just following for the standard edition because standard edition is enough to done all the activity, but some feature it is not available in this standard edition. So like we can't give for the HIPAA things and security things and the time travel. So there are the things we can't do in our standard edition. And enterprise edition is it's a kind of mid-level to large companies. So in this enterprise edition, we have for the 90 days of time travel period. So 90 days of time travel. What is actually the time travel? The key, the word is still into. You just consider for now. Time travel is nothing. We are just get data from the older. We just take the data from the deleted data. So that is what actually the time travel. So if we are deleted the data, we can get back the data using the time travel. And then for this enterprise edition, you can see we have the whatever the standards. So may I think here we have the all the things. Yeah, you see standard we have these are all the options are enabled, and enterprise we have these are all the options are enabled. So you see standard to yeah. We are generating synthetic data we don't have in our standard edition, but it is available in our enterprise edition. So time travel, it is not available in standard, we have it in enterprise edition. So like that, actually we have different things we can do. And then multi-cluster also we can enable only for the enterprise edition or above. So this is a business critical. As well as in materialized reviews as well, we can enable only for the in our enterprise edition and business critical. Okay, so moving into the business critical, actually this is what actually the financial related project or healthcare related project, something the personal information stored the store it in, means we have to go with the business critical. Because of this business critical having the more securities, like they are just protecting the data and database and failover and fallback. So there are so many things actually they can do in the in this business critical. We have advanced securities like a HIPAA and HIPAA compliance and disaster recoveries. Everything actually we can do it in here itself only. This is the cost is very high. And there is one more edition. We have it in one more edition is called virtual private. Yeah, here it is, VPS. For this one, actually, we don't have access to do this. This is actually highest level of the edition. So it is done. It is just taken care of by the organizations levels only. So whenever it's requirement, so they are just reach to direct Snowflake and they will take the they will give to the edition. So once we reach the Snowflake. Okay, so for now we are going to use for this business critical because we are going to accessing for all the features in future. So that's what actually I'm just select for the business critical. Okay, so now next thing is choose cloud provider. See, already Snowflake is one of the cloud provider only. Again, why we are choosing the cloud provider? Because Snowflake, I already told, Snowflake is runs on top of this cloud provider, which means you see Snowflake is does not have its physical storage. Snowflake is going to store any of this cloud provider only. So that's what actually it is showing on here. So we can choose AWS. So Snowflake is going to store the data in the AWS, but I don't want to see the I don't want to directly pay to this AWS. I can just pay only for the Snowflake. Snowflake will taken care of this. So I can just select for the AWS and then region. So region means nothing, which is where actually these cloud providers data centers are located. So basically, anywhere of in this world, at least any of the data center. Data center means nothing where actually physically infrastructure is located. So now we are just using accessing on the cloud, right? Cloud means in my system directly I'm accessing it. But in the current world, anywhere of the physical infrastructure actually they put those located on in these locations. So like which means if I want to store my data in AWS, means AWS data centers are located on these places. So Singapore and so Asia Pacific. So there are so many places. We can just select any nearby places. I just choose for the Singapore because we just want to store the data in Singapore data center. See, basically the region means you see like earlier the one of the applications, a kind of TikTok application got banned. Why? Because there is a no data center in India. So India requested to them. So we have provided to the data to you, but you just maintain the data center in India. So which means I just uploaded my video. That video it's going to uploaded in TikTok in the base of TikTok where actually it is storing the data. So that storing the data, that is what actually the data center. So at least we need any the data center should be in India. So that's what actually India is requested, but the application owners are denied because they don't have the data center in India. So then what actually India is taken action. So we just ban this application because our data is going to outside of India. So we are not willing to that. So they are just banned those applications. So that is what actually the data centers. So in Snowflake, we are going to store the data in the Snowflake account. That Snowflake is storing the data in AWS account. Then that AWS data center is placed on these many places. So we can choose any of the data center places. So you see, if we are once choose this data center and then the cloud provider and then business, then editions. When we are creating the account, when we are just choose these things, in future we can't again change. So that's what actually while creating the account of Snowflake. So in real time, they are just take much time to get clarity, and then only they will create this account. Okay, now I just give this. I have read and permit and get started. So these things you can just skip. You don't need here. Also, I can skip. Yeah, now you see there is a one of the link will send in my mail ID. So I can just log in. So that is actually kind of activation link. Let me just log in it. Okay, give me a minute. I will activate. Yeah, so I can see this is what Snowflake sent to me. So this is a link. If you are click to activate, then Snowflake free account started to activating. You have to provide for username password as well. So let me give my username password. I'm just to give this name and password. So password should be a combination of these things. Like you have to must follow these things. Let me give my password. So numbers, sorry, overall must be 14 characters, start from 14 characters. Characters and contain at least one number, zero special characters, one uppercase. Okay, so we have to follow this. Okay. So while giving this password, just try to remember because in other applications just accepted 8 characters only, but in Snowflake required for the 14 characters as well as there is a no special character. You have to just create a password and then get started here. Okay, so this is how actually the Snowflake home pages looks like. Let me try to change the color. Yeah. Okay, so this is a home page of Snowflake. See, we have the whatever the projects we were open, we can see whatever the worksheet. Worksheet means we here only we are going to write a SQL things. We can see it in here. So like that, there are so many things. In that left side, you can create anything if you want to work. If you are going to create a worksheet, means we can give this. We are going to explore one by one. In each things we'll explore. So for now, actually, I'm just created the Snowflake account. So guys, can you ask if you have any doubt? I can tell you. So guys, are you able to understand how to create the Snowflake account?
Yes, Nissan.
Yes, no.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we almost created the Snowflake account. So, what is the purpose of creating the Snowflake account? So, because in Snowflake account, Mhm. I'm sorry, uh, le- 1 minute. Okay, so I need, mhm. You see, this is the Snowflake database. In this Snowflake database only, we have the data. So we have the data. So how do we have to accessing the data? We need to talk to this database and need to tell to this data we need to see. Okay, right? So like that, we have the, for now we have the Snowflake account. Now we need a data inside here. Then we need to ask the database how the data it is present, where it is data it is present. So we need to see, right? So where we can see, so we can go to the this home. You see, this is a home. Inside we you see there is a data. Sorry, there is a data. You can see there is a databases. So this Snowflake Learning DB, it is one of the database which was created by the Snowflake team only. So for learning, we they are just to use this database. You can see we have we have this Snowflake data. in this place. So this will getting confused. You can go with this Snowflake account as well. So here you can see there are so many things. You will get confused. So for now, what I'm suggested, you don't go for whatever actually they created. We will create our own. So for that, what you need to do, you can just go to this create, give this SQL workspace, because we are going to communicate with our database using the SQL query only. Then where we can write the SQL query? So here only we can write the SQL query. So whatever the query you were written and start executing given this button. So then what will happen? So it will be directly communicating with the Snowflake. Okay. So let's close this pen. Give me a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here is the worksheet where we can write all the Snowflake queries. Okay. Uh, First thing what we are going to learn. So first actually, this is what actually the actual practical session. So first what we are going to learn, it is a SQL commands. So first we will try to learn for this SQL commands. Based on this SQL commands, we will start learn one by one Snowflake features as well. Okay, so what is a SQL commands? So in SQL commands, we have five types of SQL commands. So first one is a DDL, and then DML, and then DQL, and then DCL. Fifth one is TCL. So this is what actually the SQL commands. On the Snowflake, you see, we have in Snowflake account, Snowflake. So this Snowflake's completely 70 percentage of work is done by only SQL. So if you know SQL, then only you are able to handling the Snowflake. So rest of 30 percentage of work only we are taken care by Snowflake features. In real time, 70 percentage of work actually done by the SQL only. So that's what actually we should more clarity, and we should be on strong knowledge in SQL. Then only we are able to understand this Snowflake things. Okay, so first we will try to complete this SQL parts, and then we'll move to the Snowflake part. In between of see like a DDL, I will not going to tell standard DDLs. I will tell what are all the Snowflake DDLs actually we need. So I will tell those things. And DML means we are going to load the data, how to load the data in Snowflake. So there are so many topics in real-time project itself. There is a I was working on of the project is called file ingestion project. So those what actually we are done and what are the things, how do we have to load the data, everything I will explain on this place. So it will take more time to complete for this DML activities. Okay, now instead of telling this, I will start going to explain everything step by step. So first, what is DDL? DDL means data definition language. Data definition language. So then what is DML? DML means data manipulation language. Data manipulation language. And then TQL. So data query language. And DCL is nothing, which is a data controlling language. The controlling language. And TCL is a transaction controlling language. Transaction controlling language. Okay, so this is what actually the five commands. Our whole SQLs are running based on these five commands only. Let me move this first one first. What is the DDL? So DDL means it is actually developing a objects. You see, it is only creating a new object, or if you want, we can just modify those object. Whatever the things we are going to create, we have to use for the DDL only. So DDL is used to creating or modifying the object. See, then what is the object? What it mean by the object? Because of this, DDL is going to create an object, right? So what is this object? Object means nothing. Let's say example of in our real time. If I'm holding the mouse means that mouse is one of the object. If I'm holding the phone means that phone is one of the object. Whatever the visibly we can see, those are all actually we are calling as a object. So in Snowflake also same thing. So like this mouse actually can do some work, and then this phone also can do some work. So which means object can do some work. So that's what actually the object. So in Snowflake, we have Snowflake also we are going to create a object. So for those object can do any of the work. So like if you're going to create a table means table can hold the data, and if you're going to create a schema means schemas can hold the tables. So like that actually object we are going to create. Okay, so based on this object, what are the things actually we can create? So we can create so many objects. For now I'm just telling for the most important objects. We are going to create first database and a schema and table, views, procedures. So the like this actually we are going to create everything. So these are all the calling as a object. Okay, so how can we have to create an object? So first of all, we can create these many objects using the DDL. So first of all, we want to know what are all the commands actually this DDL has. So because if you're going to create a object like using the creating or modifying means we need a command, actual query we need. So then what are the DDL commands we have? DDL commands. Based on this DDL commands only, we can do all the activities. So in Snowflake, we have 7 DDL commands. You see, like first one is a create, and second one is a alter. Third is drop. Fourth is comment. Fifth is describe. Show. Seven is use. So like this, we have 7 commands in Snowflake DDLs. So let me go one by one. First, what is a create command? So create command is only used to creating the new objects. If you want to create a new object, you are going to use for this create command. So how can we have to use this create command? So we need to follow the syntax. So whatever the query you are going to return, before that you can just check the syntax how it is looks like. So basically what is the meaning of syntax is nothing which is the following guideline. So you can just follow this syntax, you will be able to write a proper query. So that's what actually the syntax. So this create also we have to give some query only, like a create using the create also we have to write something. Before that writing, we just check how this syntax is look like. Then we can just start using this create command. So then what is a syntax? So first you can see create option, create command you should use. So first you should use create command, then object type. What type of object you are going to create? Are you going to create like a database or table or something? If you are going to create some any other object means you should tell the type of that object, and then we need to tell the object name. So this is what actually syntax of creating the object. Okay, so now I'm going to create the database object. So now I'm just want to tell you what is a database. So already I told database is a collection of data. So you see, yeah. So this is what actually my data. So these are all the things actually the data. In this data, I'm telling this data has been stored under the database. But I already told directly data is stored under a database means we don't know which place actually data is exactly present. So we have to follow for the proper organization. So then what is a proper organized way? You see, you don't want to directly creating the data. You don't want to creating a directly table. So first what we need to do, first we should create the database. Okay. Then we need to create the schema. Then we need to create the table. So this is the flow we need to follow. Okay, so first actually we need to create a database and schema, then only we can create a table. Under this table only we can put the data. After this table only we can see the data. You see, like in Snowflake account, we first needs to create a database. So in this Snowflake, I already told it's one of the collection of it is a data warehouse. Snowflake is a cloud based data warehouse, like that I told, right? So data warehouse means nothing which is a collection of database. So whatever the database you are going to create, all those database we can see it in this place itself only. Okay, let me start creating the first database, then we'll going to create one by one. So using the same syntax, first we can use for the create, second is a object type. What is object type? So object type is a database. This is what actually the data type, object type. I can put it in here, and then we can give any of the name. So I'm just to give the DB database. I'm just to give the database name like a DB. So then I'm going to create a database, just to copy and going to create it here. So you can just put that whatever the query in here. Then what you need to do, you just click in this run button. What will happen? So automatically it start executing. So for now, you don't worry about this all other options, account admin, computer errors. So you don't worry about everything. I will give you brief explanation of everything, each one of these things. So for now, you just create concentrate of this SQL things only. So first we'll complete the SQL, then we'll start for this Snowflake things. Okay. So now I just created the Snowflake database. I told whatever the database we are created, we can see it in this left side view, but I couldn't see this DB is not coming to here because we need to give the refresh. So once if we are refreshing, whatever the database which we are created, all everything it will be coming in here. Okay. So now if you want to create another database means same. So create database DB2. So like that I am creating another one. So just run this one, it will be coming like this. Okay, so refreshing, db2 will come. Okay, so this is how actually we need to follow. So whatever the query you are written, you have to maintain for this semicolon. So this is actually the mandatory thing for our real-time advisable things for this. So if you don't want to maintain for this semicolon, what you need to do, you should select this query and you need to run. If you are putting the semicolon, you no need to select, you just directly run. Because of each line, it will be going to end up with this semicolon. So to understanding the semicolon is a exit level. So exiting this query. Okay. So now I just created the database. Let me show you what actually inside the database before moving into the creating the schema. Whenever we are creating the database in Snowflake itself, by default, it will having two schemas. So if I'm opening this database, you can see there is a first schema is information schema. Okay. Second is a public schema. So what is this information schema and public schema? I will tell
Then,
you. Yeah,
sorry to
yes.
interrupt you. Can you please explain what is schema?
Yeah, I will going to tell the schema only for the next. So for now,
Okay.
what I'm trying to tell, you just ignore this information schema and public schema. Directly, we'll going to create a new schema. Then we are just directly working on that. Okay. So for now, we are just created for the database. Now I'm going to create it for the schema. So what is a schema? Schema means it is a folder. You can consider it as a folder. So we have the this is a database. Inside the database, I have to put the data. So like you see, this is a sales related data, this is a HR related data. So so many data I'm just going to put it into inside here. But so this will get some confusion. What actually we can do, we can just separate the data like a folders. So instead of putting, you see, like if you are going to download the songs from the internet means you have to separate the songs like a Tamil songs and English songs and you whatever the folder you want to create, and then you can put those songs inside that. So that is what actually same thing in here also we are just following. So the data we just separated using the schemas. Schema is a folders. So you see this is a one of the folder. In this folder we just put inside this record data, and also this is also one of the folder. We can just create this folder and put it into inside here. So in first we need to create a database and we need to create a schemas. Schemas means nothing, which is what actually categorize the data. So the organized way we are just creating the schemas. So this is a sales related data, we can put this schema, and then HR related data we can put it inside here. Okay, so this is what actually the schema. So are you able to understand what is a schema?
Yes, Nizam.
Okay, now I'm going to create a actual schema. Let me directly going to create is clear. Yeah. Okay. So for creating a schema, what we need to do, same. So create, you have to use a create command. Then you need to give for the object type is a schema. And then you have to give the name of the object. I'm just giving for the sales. What it mean by I am going to store the sales related data inside this DB. We have the DB database. Under this database, I'm going to create for the sales schema, which means I'm going to uploading the sales related data in here. So I'm just copy this code and going into the Snowflake, and then I'm just directly running this sales schema creating. So let me run this. So what will happen? This schema sales successfully created. Now if you are refreshing, you will see sales schema. So already we have information schema and public schema. You just ignore for now because of this information schema. We have separate topic. We need to learn for what is this, all these things we can do. I will come later on this, and then public schema also you can for now ignore. Then you can see this is a sales schema we have created now. So inside there is a no object form. So we already created for the database object. We created for the sales schema object. So now we have completed for the two objects. You see, we are just created for the database and schema object. Then we can going to create the table object. So why we are creating a tables? So because of table only we know what actually where actually data is present exactly. So you see, this is the database. So then this is the schema. So directly we are not going to put the data inside the here in the inside the schema. We need to create a table inside the schema. We should create a table because of Snowflake will displaying the data in a table format. So we need to create a table, and then we need to put a data inside the table. So table means nothing which is contains the rows and columns. So this is what actually the table. So like we have the rows and we have the columns. So like that actually we have each rows and each columns. So that is what actually we are calling as a table. Okay, so now you see this is what the table for the next step is we need to create a table. Let me show how to creating the table. So creating a table is not simply same syntax. So we have to follow for the same syntax for database and schema, but table is a kind of different syntax. So what is a table syntax? So table syntax is create or create table, table name, sorry, create object, object type, and object name. So this is what actually till now we learned. So first creating and object type and object name. This is what actually we are learned. But for table means what you need to do, you have to open bracket. You need to create open bracket and close bracket because you see inside a database is nothing is there. So let me show you. You see, inside a databases, directly it is looks like it's a box only. We can directly create. And inside a schema also it is nothing. It is also looks like box only. But for table it is not like that. Table it is not only for the uh, kind of box. Table is a combination of columns. So you see, if it is if it is like this means we are not telling it is a table. It is like a box, empty box. Then when we are calling it is a table, if the box contains the columns, so like this, if it is like this, then only we will tell like it is a table. So this is a id column, this is a name column, this is a address column. So if it is contains a column, then only we can considering as a table. So that's what you see. Database no need to give the open bracket and close bracket because it's a kind of, even if you are give like this, it will just creating like this. If you are give schema, it is just creating like this. But for creating the table, you have to follow the some syntax differently because of we need a column names as well. Okay, now let me show you how to create a table syntax. Yes. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now create object type and object name. Inside here only, we want to give the column names. What is a column? I'm just to give for the column and data type. Data type. So once we like this, actually we can create till 1,000 columns. Data type column 2. So like that, actually we can create for the so many columns. And then end of the place, you can put a semicolon. So this is what actually the syntax of table. So create command, object type and object name. So now we'll try to create a table. So for now, I'm just to give for the first create command. You see Snowflake or SQL. Let's consider SQL. This SQL is not a case sensitive. It is, sorry, if case sensitive in the sense, when we are writing the query, we should follow for the how the query needs to be created. Some syntax like if case sensitive means it should be capital, means we have to create a query with capital only. If it is a smaller case, means we have to create a query is a smaller case only. Like if a Java means if you are going to create a class or something different, you need to follow the case sensitive things, like we have to follow for the capital case or smaller case. But in SQL it's not a case sensitive. We can just create a capital case or smaller case, whatever if you wish. You can create the case is not considering in here. But while uploading the data, inside the data only the case sensitive, I will come when it's come to the data. I will come to later on that point. Okay, for create and then object type. Object type is what object we are going to create. For now we are going to create a table object. So that's what actually I'm just putting as a table. So putting as a table in here. And object name, you see, previously I just used for the DB object name and the sales object name. So whatever the object name can we give on here? So we can give whatever the object name in your wish, but we need to follow some rules. So giving the object name is not much easy. We should follow some rules. That is what actually we are calling is a naming conventions. So that I will let you know how it is naming convention will come. Then I just put the bracket and then the column name. I'm just give the column name as a ID, and then what is a data type. You see, data type also we don't know. So what is a data type, how it is looks like, we don't know. So now what I'm going to tell, what is a naming rules, how can we have to give the proper names. So if you are give the any other names, then this object will not create. Let me show you. So if I'm going to create a database, create database 123. If I'm going to create like this, means it will not work. You see, it will be going to throw the error. So for that we should understand what is a naming rule, how do we have to create. If you know that, if you know those things, then you can create the proper objects. Okay, so let me tell you what is a naming rules or naming convention. You can just consider anything. Okay, naming rules. To creating an object, you should follow for these rules. So first rule is you must start with an alphabet. With an alphabet. So whatever the object you are going to create, that object should be starting letter is a alphabet letter. Should not be a number. You see, if you are going to create database 100 db, if you are providing like this, means it will throw the error. You see, let me run. It will be throwing the error because object name start with number. It won't accept. Okay, so always object name start with alphabet only. So maybe if you are creating like this, it will work. So create, let me copy paste in here. Create, I'm just to give everything is a alphabets only. SF something, SFDB something, I will Snowflake database like this, I'm just giving. Now you see, if I'm trying to run, this will create. So if you are creating the characters, Snowflake will work. If you are creating with purely number, Snowflake will not work. If you are starting with the numbers also, Snowflake will not work. Then if you're starting with the character with the numbers, is this will work? Yeah, that will work. If you are creating 100 should be come after the alphabet, means then that will work. So you see, this is actually working. So let me refresh it. You can see DB100 will work. So which means completely number will not work. This will throw the error. Start with number also not work. This is also throwing the error. starting with any alphabet or complete alphabets, then it will be work. So that's what actually the first rule. We should must follow with the alphabets only. So this is the first rule. Okay, second rule is no space. We should not provide any space in between of the object name. So if I'm going to create a object name like this, so if I'm going to create an object name SF space DB. So if I'm going to create like this means it won't work. You see, this will throw the error. If I'm highlighting, selecting, and then run, this is also not work. So because of in between of the object name, the space will not accept. Okay. So what actually we can do? Because you see, if we have the longer database name, so my Snowflake account. So this is one of the database name means if I'm going to create like this means it is not a readable. So you can just see I'm just going to run this account, run this command. You can see it is creating. It is created. You can see it will be coming to here. But this is not a readable. How can we have to do? How can we have to can do the readable? Readable means when we are going to read means it should be in between some spaces only we can understand. So but Snowflake not accepting. Not only Snowflake in SQL is not accepting while creating the object, right? What we can do instead of space, what we can do put here underscore. So underscore is considering as a space. So now actually not exactly considering a space. While reading, we can understand, okay, so it is a my Snowflake account. So if you are creating like this means you are able to create. So you can see this is actually creating. So if when it comes to space is required for in your object, you do one thing, you just give for underscore instead of space. So that will work. Okay. In every real-time projects are following for the same syntax only. Okay. So no space in between the object name. If you want space, you can use instead of space, you can use for the underscore. Here you can just use for the Snowflake underscore instead of space. Okay, so this is what actually the second rule. So if you want mandatory, if in your project is suppose in this is a rare case, what actually they are telling? No, I don't want to the underscore, and as well as I need a space only. So then what we can do? So if I'm creating like this means this is not working, right? So if I'm creating like this, my Snowflake account, but as in our requirement is telling, no, I know I don't want to the underscore, and I need a mandatory of space means what we can do? We can just enclose this text inside here double quotes. If you are putting the double quotes, then if I'm creating, now it will be work. You can see just if I'm trying to run, so now it has created, but it is not recommended in real time. No, no one is using this method. It is not a recommended method. So always if you can use only for the underscore, maybe some rare cases if they want with the space means you can just enclosed with double quotes, then this will work. Okay. So that's what actually we can provide for the space also inside the database, but it is not recommended anyway. So second rule is no space. You should not give the space, right? Okay. So what is the third rule? Third rule is no special character. No special characters. So special characters means what? So like if it is star or like if it's a star or ampersand or percentage or dollar. So if you are going to create a database object with using of this special character, it won't work. So only special character can accept for this underscore rather than no other special characters are accepted. So create database. A database name is DB. I'm providing star. So what will happen? Let's see. So I just give this and going to create here. So it will throw the error. So I'm just to remove this star, put in instead of the star, I'm just to give the ampersand. This is also not working. Okay. So adding the special character while creating that object, it is not recommended. Also, it is not working in the Snowflake. Okay. So avoid the special character while creating the object name. But accepted is underscore is accepted. In real-time project also they will accept. Don't worry. And then what is a fourth rule? So must be unique. Must be unique. So
if we are creating the object name, it should be unique. So we can't create the same object name multiple times. So like you see, like if I'm creating already one of the objects is present, db it is one of the object is present, I can't create again same object name. You see, if I'm going to create a same object name means this will not work. If I'm going to create like this means, so DB is already exist. It will not work like that. It will show. Okay. So that's what actually what we are telling. Must be unique. Object name should be unique. So uniquely you have to create the object name. So this is what actually the rules. So for this rules as match, these rules are followed by in this object name and then this column name. So not only for the table creation, you have to follow for the same rule for all the objects. So whatever the objects you are going to create for the naming convention, you should follow for these four rules. Then if you know these four rules, you can create the proper object names. Okay, now we know what is how to create the database and how to create the schema. Now we are actually in currently we are sit on this table creation. So for now, I just completed for table creation. Let me give the table name as T1 because starting with alphabet it will be work, and the ending with the numbers it is also work. So I'm just giving the table name as a T1. So same methods, same rules match follow for this column names as well. Already this ID is working. So next, so for now we know what is a create object type, object name, everything we know. Next is data type. What is a data type? So data type means this is what actually the one of the important topic we have to follow for so many data types in the real time. Okay. So data type means what kind of data is going to be accepted in your columns. Let's see if you have the table. So this is what actually the table, and in table definitely it has the columns. Definitely it has the columns. So you see, this is the ID column. This is a name column. This is a phone number column. Like that you can consider. This is the ID column. This is a name column. This is a phone number column. So in ID column is fine. So sometimes A1 will come, sometimes something like this alphabet and numbers will be fine. When it comes to number name column, it will be accepting only for the alphabet. So if I'm writing for the Nizam like this means it will be accepted. So if I'm trying to write some 1, 2, 3 or something numbers in name column, name no one names is contains with the numbers, right? So always name should be characters only, and as well as phone number. Phone number definitely is number only. It is not a character. So ABC, if it is like this means it won't work. So each column has its own data. How actually this column is decided? You see, if I'm going to create a column name is ID means, if I'm going to create a column name, 1 minute, let me, you see, there it is. Yeah, if you're going to create a column name is ID means you should provide a data type. So based on the data type only, this table considering, okay, this ID column can accept only for this type of data. So if a next column is name column means we need to tell a data type. So based on the data type only, this column can accept that type of data only. So we can't pass for the number data if we are giving for the character type of data type. Okay. So in here, data type is a lengthy concept. I will take that concept in tomorrow class. So for now, you just consider TCM filter. So you see, when you are filtering the water means with that water contains with some other things means, if your filter means that water will only will come out like that. If you are putting the data type some after the column name means what will happen in future, any of the data will come after in that ID column, any of the data will come based on the data type is start filtering the data. So that the future receiving data, if it is number means, if I'm giving here number means what will happen? ID column can accept only number type of data. So it definitely not accepting for the character type of data. So that's what actually the data type. This is a very big concept. I will take that tomorrow because I will show you one by one number data type, how it is working, and as well as character. There are so many data types. We have structured data type, semi-structured data type, unstructured data type. So I will show you on tomorrow's session for those things. So for now, what actually we learned today, we just learn the cloud service layer in our Snowflake architecture. So for this, let me erase this. So today, what actually we learned, just summarizing it. So today we just learned what is a cloud service layer. It is a brain of in our Snowflake account. And then we were just creating the Snowflake account, and then we just logged in the Snowflake account. And then what actually we learned today is, yeah, what are the commands we have. First, we started with the DDL command. In DDL command, we have 7 different types of DDL. We started with the create command. In our using the create command, we just created the database and as well as schema. While creating the table, we need a data type. So that's what actually we are not able to create a table for now. First, we need to clear understanding for this data type concept. Once we know, then we can start creating for this table as well. So follow this object name. We should follow for some naming rules. That those rules also we learned today. Okay. So guys, can you ask me any doubt? If you have any doubt or if you have any confusion, you can just ask me. I will again explain to you. If nothing means we can wind up.
Nijam, can you quickly go through, please, this syntaxes again, like creating database and creating table, I mean,
Mhm.
schema.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever the code we are going to write, we should follow for the syntax. Syntax is a guidance. So the way how we are going to write a code. So the way is first is a create, and then we should put like the syntax is object type. Object type means what type of object we are going to create. So after the create command, we need to tell I'm going to create a procedure type. I'm going to create a table or database. So that is what actually the object type. So if that object type we need to mention on here, then we need to tell a object name. So what is the name of that object? You see, pen is one of the object. So that object can do some work, like a pen can write something. And then we have to give the name of that pen as well. So like it is a kind of a blue pen, or it is brilliant, something the name they provided for the ballpoint pen, something the name they provided for that pen, right? So like that, actually, we need to provide the name of that object. So first, create command. So create is a syntax, like a create is a DDL command, and after that create, we need to provide for the object type, and then we need to give for the object name. Okay, so based on this syntax only, we just to follow for the creating the any of the object. But while creating for the table object, there are some slightly syntax will be changed, because tables are contains with column names as well. So create object type is a table, and object name is we have to give for the any table name, and then we need to give for the column names as well. So combination of columns only we are considering as a table. So without columns, then that would be a database or schema, like that only it will be there. Okay. So are you got it what I'm trying to tell for this
Oh, yes,
object?
Nijam. And one more thing, the object type could be database or any table name, right? Sorry, I
Yeah,
mean,
here you see you can put anything on this object. Object type should be a database. We can create a database object. We can create a schema object like tables or views or procedures. So in future we are going to create a so many objects in Snowflake. So if you're going to create a views object, means you should put like a like this. So create views and a view name. So I'm just to give v1. So like this, you see, object type is based on the object what you are going to create. If you are going to create a procedure object, means you need to give like in here procedure. If you are going to database object, means you need to give here database. Okay.
okay, man. Got it.
Okay. Anyone have any other doubts? Okay then. So we if
Nazim, so you created the schema right for sales. Uh,
yes.
does that
Mhm.
being created only for DB or is it also created for DB too?
Yeah, we can create schemas for anywhere. So you see what actually we need to do. We are created schema under the DB. So we just written here. So tomorrow we are going to learn one more topic like a fully qualifier thing. So this is a fully qualifier name. So if you know this topic, then you will able to understand how can we have to create a schema under DB, under DB2, wherever you want, you can create. But you should know for this fully qualified concept, then you will be able to create easily. Okay.
Okay.
So for now, I'm just creating for the schema by basic. So in future, we can create a schema for anywhere in the place.
Oh, okay.
I like without creating a schema, we can create table also, right?
No, without creating schema, we can't create a table. So because of the, as per the syntax of in Snowflake, we should go with this flow only. First, we need a database. Inside a database only, we can create a schema. Inside a schema only, we can create a table. So because of, you can see, let me show you in this syntax. First, you see, first we have to open the database. Inside the database, we have the schema. Inside the schema only, we can create a table. Let me create one sample table for now.
Got it.
Yeah, let me create a sales schema. You see, like this. So first database, after we need to create a sales, after we need to create a schema, then it should be comes under a table.
Table.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other doubts?
No, Nija.
Okay then. So we don't have any doubts, means we can wind up the today's session. So thank you for joining today's session.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Nija.
Thank you.